Hi, everyone. My name is Akshat Soni. I'm one of the founders here at CanPR, and you're listening to the S.M.E podcast.
You are now listening to the next great small business podcast. Welcome to the S.M.E Stories podcast, where it is all about small businesses in Canada. And here's your host, Ken Alfred.
All right, guys, we have Akshat Soni from CanPR. Akshat,
Thank you, Ken, for having me here.
You cut me off before you get a chance to say welcome. But anyways, what a way to start. That's okay. So yeah, I'm doing great. How are you on this? We're recording this on a Friday where my listeners can't really see this, but I have a curtain blocking the sun because it's actually beautiful out right now. It's actually calling for a little bit of rain, which is unfortunate, but hey, it's good for the grass. Actually, no, that's not true because all my weeds that are coming through my lawn are getting, all the sunlight's kind of making them happen. So I'm not too sure. But yeah, so actually, where are you located right now?
So currently, I'm at our new location. We just opened our new office space for the startup right near Square One.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, I love, what? I haven't been to Square One in a long time, but all right. So you just moved to that location now, but I'm familiar. I assume you live on the West End, so you're on the Mississauga-ish area. Is that where you're from?
exactly. I grew up in Scarborough, though. So
Okay.
that's where everything started, and yeah, now living around the Mississauga area.
Yeah, and just for the listeners who are in Mississauga, my favorite fast food, and I'll make this story really quick because I know this is more about Akshat's story than my story. But when I was a teenager in high school, what I used to do is I used to go to a mall. I used to go to Fairview Mall in Scarborough, and I would study there on Saturdays. So I was that dork that would actually study, but I would study for like a few hours, like from morning till maybe like a little after lunch. And the reward for myself for being a nerd in that particular time frame was they had this fast food place in Fairview Mall. It was called Charlie's Steakery. Now it's Philly cheesesteaks for those who aren't familiar with what that is. And I would go there so much every Saturday. So every Saturday I would study, go there, and it turned out to be my favorite fast food place. To the fact that when they left, because I was surprised because I used to send everybody actually to Charlie's Steakery at Fairview Mall. Everyone. I even had the phone number of it from the owners because I got along with the owners very, very well. That literally I gave them a Christmas card, right? And I would send all my cousins. I'd go on dates there, friends,
That's
family,
amazing.
everywhere we'd go, right? And then one of them called me up. They're like, well, two funny things is one, they said, hey, what do you actually order? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I order? Well, yeah, every time we go with you, you just kind of like we show up and then they just give you the food, right? And because they gave me their phone number, all they would say is, "Hey, Ken, how many? One, two, or three, or whatever." And that's why. So they see a huge lineup of people waiting, trying to order. I show up and they just hand my food over, which is great. But then the sad thing is that they said, "Hey, what happened to it?" I said, "What do you mean? What happened to it?" Well, they're not there anymore. And when I found out, I guess the owners must have closed down or sold it or whatever, and so it disappeared, which was very unfortunate. And the last part of this is that one of the few locations left in Charlie's. Now there is still Charlie's all over the world. I guess I think I saw some United Arab Emirates, the United States, Hawaii, all that sort of stuff. The only two places they have it in Ontario is in I think Rexdale at like Woodside or Woodbine Mall or something like that, and Square One in Mississauga. So say that's why maybe I'll visit your office location actually just so we can grab some Charlie's.
100%.
Like there we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
You sold me on it, so that's good.
And the thing too, there's one sneak tip, a little tip for those who are going to eat it. When you order it, do not eat it right away. So when they when they give it to you, just leave it in the bag or let it just settle for maybe just 2-3 minutes. And the reason is because there's mayonnaise and all that sort of stuff in there. You got to let the mayonnaise soak into the bread just a little bit. So it's not a rough and chewy bread. It's like it gets absorbed like a sponge. So that's my tip. But anyways, all right. Now back to the main purpose of this. As opposed to me talking about Charlie's, we're here to talk with Akshat Soni and CanPR about it. So Akshat, CanPR, what is your story?
Awesome. I'll maybe take you back with my journey a little bit and what led me to this exact moment when we're speaking about CanPR. So I've been doing startups all my professional life. I started with building websites and getting into the e-commerce sector. This was 12 years ago when there wasn't a lot of competition at that time. Then, I did that for a couple of years, built, websites for companies, worked on an e-com side. Then I started building a rideshare platform for long distance transportation. Essentially, our focus market was students, university students that want to go back home to visit family or to, let's say, go to downtown, went to school at Laurier. So the Waterloo community were kind of the test market for us. We built that out. We had a Facebook rideshare group. That was our MVPR, minimal viable product. And we had over 80,000 members using that group. So that was the aha moment, people call it. This is where we took the business from just testing it out, understanding if there's a product market fit, to really taking it to the next level, building technology so that, community members can get connected with each other, expanding that from university and colleges to actual workplaces as well. So, folks that are going to the same workplace or the same area can start carpooling or connecting with each other. We expanded that all over Canada, had a chance to pitch on Dragons, then work with, Jim as well from Boston, that he's the one who gave us the deal on Dragons then. Right after that, we expanded into the US market as well. So we had a lot of B2B players there. So did that for, I would say, 4 or 5 years, got acquired by a public company down in Toronto, worked there as the executive, focused on the operation and the company growth. Worked there for, I would say, 18 months to 24 months, and then did some projects. One of the cool projects I worked with was Russell Wilson, when he was down in Seattle, I believe at that time. We built a sports prediction platform together, essentially, have giving people the ability to be part of communities and predict in certain games. So whether that's family members getting together in a community, whether that's people from work getting in a community and predicting what's going to happen within the game itself. So that was very exciting.
So sorry, actually, I tried to cut you out there. 1 second. So for those who are not listening, I don't know if you watch hockey. Leafs actually won Game 6 yesterday against Boston. So I know you don't have that platform anymore, but do you have a prediction for tomorrow?
So I've been a Leaf fan all my life. So, Game 7 against Boston, it's the emotions are high,
Yes.
2013, I guess 2018. And, I think obviously want the Leafs to win for sure. But, after Game 4, I was like, you know what? I'm not invested in this. Whatever happens, we'll take a game by game. But obviously really invested and hoping the Leafs win in Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make this last point, then we'll get back to your story there. Is because if you remember, was it 2013 where they were up by like 3 or something like that? Yes.
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1. So I remember it. We were watching. I wasn't watching it at all. I just was like, I know it's Game 7. I'm just going to click on it. And I said, Leafs up 4-1. I guess I'll watch. That's 4-2. Boston scores again, 4-3. Okay, I'm going to stop watching because I started watching, I must have done something that the Leafs are now letting Boston score, and then we end up losing. So anyway, sorry. Back to that story. So right after that, that prediction, the sports analytics platform, continue.
Yeah, so I would say this is maybe 3 years ago. So a little bit about my background. We moved, so my family, we came to Canada, I would say around 18, 19 years now ago to Canada. So, my background comes from understanding the immigration process, obviously through the lens of my parents in a lot of ways when they were going through the immigration process, bringing, myself, my sister into the country and kind of recreating their careers, within Canada itself. And understanding the solution, almost 20 years ago and now still the same. There's no technology that really helps people on the pre-immigration and the post-landing side of things. So the main reason I started this company was obviously through the struggle and the challenges, myself and, my family faced, and understanding, we have over 1 million people coming into the country. Where's the infrastructure? Where's the, where are the people going? Understanding how do we bridge the gap between what's happening within the Canadian immigration system and how do we make sure the newcomers coming into the country can find the right, areas they can be successful in. At the end of the day, we're bringing in immigrants so that they can help the future. Canada is built on immigration, right? Whether you go 200-300 years ago, whether you're looking at 2020s and what's happening here. So essentially creating a tech platform that can focus on giving people the transparency, helping them understand what is the immigration process all about for them, having them the ability to choose the right process for themselves and their families, and making sure we're bringing the right skilled folks. So what I mean by that in terms of the right skilled folks is making sure that when there's a job, openings in specific industries, like when I want to speak about specific industries, it's more so in construction, hospitality, nursing, farming, we have over 100,000 jobs, available right now in Canada for these specific industries, making sure, we can bring in the right skilled labor force so that they have a job in the country. They can kind of grow their journey, their family's journey. And one thing, I always keep in mind whenever we're building this, wherever we are as of today, is when I think about a person or a family, they have, three major decisions a person kind of goes through in their life: is where they live, where they work, and who they marry. We take care of that one major decision for someone and their family. So we want to make sure that we are the right solution, a user-centric solution for individuals. And that's kind of the vision behind, and that's kind of the motivation behind why I started this company.
So you're not trying to get people to get married though on the app, right? On the technology, it's just to make sure they. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, not yet, not yet.
Top secret, guys. That's what we're working on next. But anyways, no, you brought up a really good point there, because I think, I was born here in Canada, and my parents both immigrated here from the Philippines, but both from different provinces in the Philippines. They actually met on a blind date here in Canada, which is very rare. It's from when you hear the typical immigrant story, that at least that I'm used to hearing, is that, maybe one of the parents will come in and they'll sponsor their spouse, and then families slowly start to do it that way, right? And I think what a lot of people don't know is that it's not easy to really get into Canada, right? In a way, right? Although some people, if you look at the news, they might say, "Oh, everyone is just sneaking across." But I know you're not there to try to say, "Okay, we want you to sneak across." You're actually talking about legal immigration. Hey, because it can be very tough to figure out, to navigate how to get through it, right?
Exactly. And furthering on your point, Ken, I think the major issue within this sector is misinformation. When there's no technology that can help guide and help you understand the process, middle agents or people involved throughout the process, there's a lot of misinformation that gets delved into the end customer, the end user, the family that really wants to move into the country. So it's really aiding the gap between what's available in Canada and how you can be successful. It's not about coming here. It's about when you come here, is where do we want to make sure that your staff and your family can be successful and can live, a life where you're working for the next 25, 30 years and can get a pension. And again, most people move to Canada is to live the Canadian dream. And we want to make sure that that's still the case. That's still the case, and bringing in the people that can obviously create value for themselves and for the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very astonished. I was very surprised, because I think Canada's one of the greatest countries in the world. It's my favorite country because it's the only country I've ever known, right? So to me, when you sometimes watch the news and you see, immigrants coming in and you see them sleeping on the streets or anything like that, I'm thinking, why aren't they being built for success? Because from their perspective, they saw Canada is this great place to live. There's ample opportunity to do whatever to succeed. And when I see sometimes the images that you sometimes see on media, you're like, what don't they have a place to go? And then there's that pushback between, okay, what about the people who are homeless here already, the Canadians, versus immigrants who are trying to come in, and then they're fighting for resources. And you're just like, if I was the one that was letting everyone in and they're not being able to succeed, I'd take a hit on that. I'd be like, that's my fault. Because we didn't give them the resources, not by saying we're going to allocate all these resources, but we didn't show the process and the path of okay, it's not just getting in here. And like what you said, I think that's where CanPR can really help here, is that not just to get here, but where do you go for certain things so that you're not on sleeping on the floor or sleeping on a shelter and all that sort of stuff, right?
Exactly, right? It's about building an infrastructure, because we do need immigrants. We do need immigrants. Absolutely. Because when you think about the future, I'm saying 5-6 years down the line, you're looking at over 5 million Canadians that are going to turn the age of 65 and over, meaning that we need a lot of folks that can work in industries that, we have shortages now. And in 5 years, you're looking at 6-7x the supply that needs to be filled by the labor demand in these industries.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said, the fact is we're not taking like poor immigrants that are just have they can't contribute anything. The people we're trying to bring in are actually skilled people, skilled positions, skilled engineers, skilled anything. And I think another thing, this is for another story altogether. Maybe if I do a political thing podcast, then it's more along the lines of, well, why can't we let those who has a great skill set do jobs that are very exactly what they're trained in, right? Not that there's nothing wrong if they want to be an Uber driver or anything like that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if you're telling me you're a PhD physician or a surgeon or anything, and the only way that you can make money here in Canada is to drive Uber, I'm thinking that's no, that we need people like that to be working in the hospitals, opening their own clinics, helping our aging population of, like you said, of some of the people who are going to be retiring, the baby boomers that are going to be going away. I mean, that should be something where what your skill set is. Like I said, I know nothing about the immigration process generally. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I think it's a point system, but if you're skilled at something, healthcare, farming, engineering, whatever, you should have those opportunities, and there should not be this. I mean, it's just a simple thing. Give them a written exam, give them a practical exam. They pass, good. Now they can qualify. You know what I mean? I don't know why this seems to be so hard.
Exactly. And obviously there's a lot of moving pieces, right?
Yes.
Obviously it's easier said than done, 100%, right? You're looking at hundreds and thousands of people coming in. So it's about changing the rules and regulations. Like if there's a doctor in an X country coming here, they should not be driving a Uber because it's not the right use of their skill set or the training they've done in their home country. So it's making sure that there's a pathway for those individuals to come in, maybe write a quick exam, do a practical, whatever that is the requirement, so that they can come into the labor force and help where the help is needed.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's get back to the biz part. Let's pose this thing here. So you said you started this thing because of the story, like you said, of your parents and what your family went through coming into Canada. So that was the I guess the reason why you had it. Was there any other reason there, or was it just that?
I think that was one of the main reasons. Anything I've done throughout, my previous startups, it's about learning from, the problem personally I went through or people around me went through, so that, I'm coming from a pain point that, I personally feel. And that's how, I think we can create a solution, or at least the company that I'm working on right now can create a solution that's truly user-centered.
Okay, so walk us through one more time. So CanPR, so it's an immigration app. So I think I'm going to tell my listeners, go definitely check out the website in the show notes. So the user is going to go into your website. They see that they download the app. What can the app do?
So essentially, I'll walk you through a user journey. Let's say they go on the application or the website. They can look at different ways they can enter Canada. So understanding there's 300 different ways to come into the country, for example.
300?
So understanding, yeah, so there's a lot of, smaller ways. Obviously, let's say within the express entry side, which is the direct PR pathway, for example, there's a lot of different things that come within this one main thing. So there's a lot of different things that a person can do, or there's different pathways. So understanding, what province is the best province for them, understanding what field is the best field. Are they coming here to study? Are they coming here to work? Are they coming here to invest? Right? Understanding the different programs that are available. So that's the first step for an individual, really understanding what's the right solution for yourself and your family. Once you understand that right solution, we help guide you through the steps of what takes. So what are the now next requirements in order for you to, be eligible for coming in for this specific pathway, let's say within the country. So once the person goes through all the requirements, there's obviously typically a timeline that, we have to kind of go by depending on where the government is to help them get a work permit, get a, study visa, whatever the pathway would be. Once that pathway is, accomplished, once they land in the country, CanPR has co-standing services, so helping them with housing, telehealth, insurance, anything that they need in order to start their journey. As soon as they land at the Pearson airport, we have that to provide them a ease into the Canadian life. And one of the tools that we're working on currently is a community tool. So we have right now 80,000 members within the specific community, where we understand where you're coming from, what are your personal and professional interests. So we'll add you to a specific community. So you have friends or potential friends you can make from the specific community in the area you're going to, so that, you don't feel like, you're coming into a new country and you have no one to rely on.
Right, especially for like, it's one thing if people are immigrating here just for family reunification, right? So let's say a spouse is getting another, their spouse is coming in. That's, or they have, you know, grandparents that are now going to be staying with the original parents. Different story. These are the ones where they could be literally like, okay, it's like all I got is the clothes on my back and a knapsack, and where do I go, right? So I really like that feature. That community feature is really, really good. So how big is your current development team right now?
So I'll give you a quick understanding about our current traction till date. So our mobile platform has over 1.2 million downloads. We get close to 200,000 monthly active users. We've now expanded into the Middle East. We've expanded into the South Asian continent as well. Our social media has over, I would say, 200,000 followers on, specifically TikTok and Instagram. So essentially, we're creating this traction, obviously, through social media to get, to show people what Canada is all about and what the opportunity could be for them through stories of individuals that are already here, and then
Yeah, I think I saw
tracking
the.
that
I think
through.
I saw that. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's kind of the way we've kind of grown our traction in terms of obviously the technology team. We're growing that. We have a big team here in Canada, and we have a significant growing team in India as well. That's helping us on the technology side.
So how many staff do you have in general? So you have a development team that's both in Canada and in India. So how many people? Because I know you just moved into your brand new office. So how big are we talking here?
Altogether, currently we have 50 plus people working
Wow,
somehow with the company. So
that's
we've
amazing.
seen a lot of early success, and main reason is because we're hopefully doing the right thing the right way. And again, the biggest thing we do is understand user feedback and improve the features that we have on our platform to help
Right.
guide that.
So what is then your next, like in the next 5 years, like what are you looking to plan to do where are you looking to take CanPR? Where are you looking at it?
So I'll just kind of give you the next few months that, the next few months are quite exciting for us. We just closed our funding round. We just closed basically $3 million bucks. Our current funding round, we raised around $4.5 million as a startup. We're looking to get listed in the next few months as well. So we're going to be a publicly listed company. And that's
Wow.
a really exciting, exciting thing for
Congratulations.
us. Thank you, thank you. And again, all the praise goes to the team and how hard they worked on, on different products and services within this CanPR ecosystem itself. Now, over the next few months, what we're looking to do is create this system, because immigration is not just a Canadian problem. This is a worldwide problem. When you think about the aging population, and when you think about, I guess how, the birth rate that's decreasing every decade, every year, you need more and more people. You need more people to be flexible. You need more educated people. You need ways where people can, go from country to country, depending on, where the influx is coming from. So really creating this worldwide platform that really acknowledges the shortages that country has and really help guide that shortage from another country itself, but making sure the pathway is transparent. We use technology as our core so that the efficiency and transparency is there, and making sure everything else is, situated the right way to help the end user.
Wow. So that sounds like a lot of things going on then. So I don't know, maybe you should open up another office then. You never know. How many more? 50, I'm sure you can use another one, but another 50. But through this whole entire journey so far, Akshat, so what you noticed has been your biggest expense driver at this point, just running your company?
In terms of expense driver, I would say it's the growth and building this, architecture so that we can help support getting the right people within Canada. We've just opened up new locations in Dubai and India as well. So it's really doing the global expansion side of things. So that I would say, from a startup perspective, that's the money we spent on that perspective, and also on R&D, hiring technical folks onto the team to better improve the software. We're adding in some pieces for AI as well. So really improving the immigration process and how people file immigration files, and making sure we're using technology all throughout. So R&D and global expansion kind of have been the two main focuses for our.
All right. Is there any other expense that you kind of deal with that most people don't see? I mean, people can see, okay, you buy a new space. Okay, that's going to be
Yeah.
the release is going to be high. Hiring developers, development team, staff. Okay, is there anything else that people would be surprised to find out? Oh, wow, for a tech company like yourself, you guys got to pay for that.
I think, people, and this is my experience, and I learned that through building other companies as well. People really, when they're making a budget for the next 12 months or 24 months, they, undervalue how much money they got to spend on R&D or expansion. So they kind of downplay that. And that's what I've personally learned. I always, just from more of a founder perspective, I'm always putting 15-20% on top of my budget so that, something, tech market, right? Tech is always a hot sector. So to get the top developers, you got to pay them the top dollar. Same thing with expansion, right? Sometimes you don't understand when you're going through a global expansion, you don't understand the rules, the regulations, or the money that goes into market research within a specific city, within a specific country. So really making sure that, what your budget is, adding that 15-20% leeway really helps you, because then you're giving yourself the room. If there's any mistakes or anything that you're learning around with the expansion or the R&D side, you still have enough of a buffer room as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's pretty cool. And last question before we get to the industry questions here. So how important is social media, and what platforms do you currently use?
So social media is one of the most important things to get your brand out there, to get your story out there. And I'm a big believer of that. The main platform we use is Instagram and TikTok. Every month we get close to 5 to 6 million impressions on just those two platforms itself. And the main focus for us, as I mentioned previously, is to create storytelling. So we're not pushing our services or pushing our product or with any of the reels or the posts we do. It's more about the storytelling. It's more about the vision that we have with CanPR and pushing that towards the mass audience. So for me and for the company, social media is about telling a story and doing the right things from a mass audience perspective. And obviously then you attract the right customers, the right users from that audience that you generate.
Wow, that's really amazing. Like I said, this is not a social media podcast, but I was always just curious to know. So where can people find you?
So people can find us on social media. If you just search up CanPR, mobile application, website, canpr.io, on App Store, Play Store is just CanPR. And, they can reach out to us via message, via email. There's a phone number. They can contact our sales team, and we'll love to help them in any way possible.
All right. Well, Akshat, thanks for being on the episode. It was really great.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken.
Hey, do you need an error-free website? Do you need transcription that's accurate and on time? Would you like to remove noise from your video or audio recording? Do you need a spokesperson for your business? If so, we can help. At Northway Capital Group, we are happy to announce that we are now providing website testing services, audio transcriptions, and audio cleanup, as well as spokesperson services. We would love to help you on your next project. Contact us for more information at northwaycapitalgroup@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening to the S.M.E. Stories podcast, which is owned by Northway Capital Group. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Northway Capital Group.